Yes.
The countdown.
Whoa! We're
Hello.
live. Hello.
Look at us.
Internet.
Hello.
Look at us. We look like a real show. We have the whole background, the foreground, and the framing right.
Kind of running through everything right now.
Yes. The reach around and all around. An all around reach around. Welcome to Sips and Software, the rebrand of our re-show.
Yeah.
We redid.
We sip.
And
We reread stories from Recode and
different types of software. Yes, basically a lot of us work at repair shops, tech shops, and we just talk about the news of the day, end of the week, and kind of give our 2 cents on it. Also, we
Porn shops. Don't forget porn shops.
and porn shops.
always. That's what
once,
we do.
Once a show.
Yeah.
So this week, episode 103.
3.
Welcome to the 103rd show.
It's a good
Sure.
one.
Welcome. What do we have on topic this week? This week we have...
We got a little bit of everything going on today. We're going to talk about AT&T owns the world.
That's true.
Almost.
That is kind of nerve-wracking.
They used to have that campaign all around the world back in the day, if you remember.
know what?
That's what
Right.
they've been
That was a
working
good one, yeah.
Foreshadow.
Hands across of corporate America. That's what we got going on here. We're going to talk about the new Android message for web.
Yes.
Android finally copies Apple in something.
Finally.
We're going to talk about flamethrowers.
Boring flamethrowers.
We're going to talk about Facebook putting autoplay video ads inside of Messenger.
I hate it.
We're going to talk about Microsoft's ambitious plans for a Netflix-style gaming service.
I think that's going to work.
We're going to talk about Apple's App Store going to Supreme Court for an antitrust debate.
It's
Does
definitely
anybody trust Apple?
not... I don't.
Asher still does. He's
And
the
then,
only one of the crew who still trusts
I'm still
Apple.
there. I'm still there.
I trust Apple wholeheartedly. I just got hosed, so we'll get back to that some other time.
Okay.
Off topic.
And then, of course,
He loves getting
When we get off topic.
we got the regular off the train or off the rail excellency that is going to be this show. So
Stick with us. All that coming up next on Sips and Software.
We already rolled the intro,
yeah,
so we can roll right
We
into it.
opened with it.
Yeah.
So
We can roll it again.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. Podcast listeners, I hope you enjoyed it.
Bam.
Yeah. I just love it.
Me too.
Better
Killed
every
it.
time.
Podcast listeners, I hope
Killed
you
it.
enjoyed the intro to episode 101. That was totally on purpose.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah, I mean, we were working with one of those like Fruity Loop, like loop recorder things.
Speaking of which, why don't we have that worked into these new openings? Because that was some great sound and some great video from a couple different things that could probably be overlaid.
Sounds like a job for a producer. Interesting.
I wish we had one of those.
So a producer thinks, hey, I'm going to hand this off to a fucking peon. Peon, let's get that fucking
True.
thing
He does
taken
need
care
a-
of.
He does need a peon.
I'm the
If
talent.
if any,
And look, he knows who I'm talking to, too. He's throwing his hands up.
any intern out there that want to get some real world Twitter or Twitch experience can come apply at where are we at?
You find
Sips
us
and
at
Software.
twitch.tv/Sips and Software. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Sips and Software.
That's true.
You can find us on Twitch for Sips and Software. And you can find us on iTunes under Sips and Software.
And Spotify.
And Spotify.
And Spotify.
Sips and Software.
That seems like too many things.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one more to add to that. I've been on high talk negotiations with one of our biggest support. Well, I don't know if they're a supporter, but we support them. #Pornhub.
Pornhub.
I'm trying to do something. It may involve you guys putting pasties over your nipples and doing this show topless,
May or may
but
Might be worth it.
it may be worth it because we may do a live show on Pornhub.
Yeah, I'm in.
Hey,
I'm
get
in.
it done.
Take Pornhub by storm. That is
And
like
there's our phone ringing. The store is closed.
cell phone repair never ends.
Cell phone repair, the nightmare.
All right.
Well,
Well, let's start off with a little bit about AT&T.
Okay.
So I'm going to go across a list. I'm going to list out some of the big hitters of what AT&T owns now.
Deal. A thought experiment. We're gonna have a thought experiment.
AT&T owns
What if
HBO.
Okay, I get a Game of Thrones. What else does HBO have?
Oh,
Sex and
not
the
my
City.
Game of Thrones.
HBO.
Yeah,
Game
but
of
you got
Thrones,
Silicon
Sex and the City,
Valley,
Silicon
Last
Valley.
Week Tonight, Game of Thrones, Westworld.
What any classic shows? Sopranos, right?
Oh yeah, they own it now. They own the whole back catalog.
Sopranos. Anything that's ever been produced by HBO. Okay.
They now
Sesame
own
Street.
TBS.
Yeah. Okay. So that's just rerun movies. Fine.
They own Time Warner Cable. Mm-hmm. So the satellite cable provider now owns the
The
traditional
actual content.
the cable providers now. So are they just going to throw in like satellite or cable? Like how is that going to work?
They're all
I'll tell
going to
you
be.
what. They actually announced already that they're going to work out a package for if you have a cell phone plan through AT&T, they will just give you a basic DirecTV package for free.
It's going to be awesome.
And there's no net neutrality laws now.
They're going to
So they can do
optimize
it.
their speed. They'll optimize and prioritize.
Yep.
So the free package will be really slow internet probably.
Why would a capitalist do that? Why do you assume the worst? The capitalist wants to give you the best.
No, the capitalist wants to give themselves the best.
Right. We're all capitalists, right?
No,
Capitalism.
socialism.
Yes, comrade.
They own the
Commie
news,
pinko bastard.
so they can keep this going really good because now they own CNN. You know,
Don't they own
the
Fox,
least
too?
watched names in news.
All 10,000 people watching CNN.
Yeah.
Be disappointed. All the airports.
They own the Turner Broadcasting System. So the entire thing includes CNN, Boomerang, TBS, TNT, Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network, Turner Sports. It owns Bleacher Report, NBA.com, PGA.com, NCAA.com,
All your sports.
NBA TV.
Everything but ESPN.
That is scary. They own DC
Disney
Entertainment.
owns
They own
ESPN.
DC.
So you're gonna walk. Okay, here's what I think. When you're gonna walk into an AT&T store, it's gonna be like an old Blockbuster where you're gonna see a Superman, and you're gonna see a Bugs Bunny, and you're gonna see The Hobbit, and you're gonna see it's not. You're not gonna go to AT&T because you want AT&T. You're gonna go to AT&T because it's cheaper to get HBO, DirecTV, TBS, TNT. All your movies and your news all through the same person that's just going to give you a phone. The
fuck
phone
that,
thing is
no.
going to be the second thing.
Fuck that! I'm going with Viacom because they're going to buy Disney, and then Disney owns all the other ones, and I'd you know.
No, Verizon's going to buy them, and it's going to be Verizon versus.
Well, Netflix is going to buy Verizon.
Are you going to start choosing your cell phone based upon what news network
That's what's
is
gonna
owned
happen.
by the cell phones? Like,
They're going to
well, I'm
gobble
going to
up
stick
into
with
Let's
Verizon
finish
because
this
they're going to
list.
own Fox News.
Let's
so.
finish this one.
All right, they own Warner Brothers now.
Okay, so yeah, all the Bugs Bunny
They,
backlog.
they
everything.
own the Dark Knight trilogy. They own Harry Potter, the
Harry
Matrix
Potter?
trilogy, Inception, Suicide Squad, The Hangover.
It
entire
still boggles my
universe.
mind that they own two cable companies that compete with each other: Time Warner Cable,
Yep.
and DirecTV.
Yep.
No, they own two conduits to the same system, which is
Now-
sending a customer information.
They
and
own
data.
two movie studios, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. Now they own
they're
the Lord of the
diversifying.
Rings, the Hobbit trilogy, Rush Hour, Wedding Crashers, Sex and the City.
See, the way they see it is they just own this content and they want to be able to give it to the customer any ways they can give it to them, whether it be a phone or a TV or an internet app. They just want to be able to. We know people want to watch this. We want to control your way to watch this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Monopoly laws are a joke.
That's not a monopoly. A phone is different than a computer. Is different.
Was Ma Bell a monopoly?
Yes.
Does AT&T own more than Ma Bell did?
They don't own the infrastructure.
What's going on there?
Nice. Inception. Tell me this isn't Monopoly. They also own YellowPages.com.
How is that a monopoly? There's
And
Google reviews is
and
way bigger than that.
The Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
They own the Yellow Pages.
That's still way less used than Google or Facebook reviews.
It is-
So they own the toilet paper factory, is what you're saying.
Right, yeah.
I mean that's great. They can they can now compete with Charmin.
I
all
don't
them kind of
believe
things.
they have a monopoly.
No, I don't. I agree. It is not a monopoly
There's
yet.
eventually only
Let
going
me
to
ask
be
you this:
one
Is
cable
it
company
can
in
I
the world.
rebroadcast CNN? Do I need a license? Then CNN must have a monopoly on its licenses because I can't rebroadcast it for free. No, it's called owning content.
I think that's a bit different.
But if you own all the channels to the content, which they do not,
But they're working.
So
their
you're
way
saying
towards
one
that.
person can't own all the channels?
what
That
I
would be a
don't
monopoly.
want, but what I don't want is a duopoly.
How are we even at a duopoly?
Well, I mean, we're getting pretty close. If Verizon continues to buy out everybody else, right?
That's
And so-
assuming they buy every artist ever.
No, I'm assuming that they buy every conduit channel. So if the two conduit channels of all broadcast internets, right? So like, let's take this. If 5G comes out, and 5G is amazing, right? Mm-hmm. And the only people who own spectrum are Verizon and AT&T within 5G, isn't that a duopoly?
Not if they only are taking the patent rights for themselves. If other people are open to being able to use the technology, then it's not. See, what happened with Ma Bell is they literally wouldn't sell the land or allow anybody to create any other infrastructure.
Right. They
T-Mobile
own the pipe.
T-Mobile is doing something completely different than AT&T and Verizon is now. That's how they're trying to make their network more robust. They're using the whole MIMO network or whatever. It's a new technology. It's how entrepreneurs try to make more money. That's how innovation happens. Without competition, without companies trying to gobble up other companies' successes, you don't have innovation. Everybody stays stagnant. If people didn't think their company had value, they wouldn't work at their company.
So, quick question for you: what will it take to make AT&T? How much more? How much less will it take to make them? In all our eyes, they seem to own a lot of things. A lot of things that.
What do you mean all the things? Because what they own is content. So yeah, they can own 100 years of movies, but guess what? The U.S. will be around a lot longer than 100 years.
What scares me is we're heading towards a place where just one or two CEOs control the entirety of all the content that all the American and the world public consumes.
Hasn't YouTube proven that wrong anyways?
YouTube still hasn't reached that level yet.
YouTube was a free model that showed that people would rather watch dumb, unscripted crap than re-scripted crap.
You're right. YouTube is aside from
and Twitch.
YouTube and Twitch, the online.
So I don't think
the online isn't anywhere close.
I think
to
it's
what
a fool's errand
market
to try to own all the content. Because
but they're trying to.
They're only going to be new content. Every person like us out there is ruining the monopoly.
New content, my ass. I will argue that there has not been any new original
look
content.
At the movies in movie theaters. They're all sequels or just garbage.
Remakes. They're sequels, remakes. There's no original content being produced. Music is samples.
There's some pretty good CGI fan films.
But again,
really good CGI.
but they're fan films and they're not original content.
Yeah, they're great. They're where the good.
And my argument is you should be sending them your money and not paying for stuff like Netflix.
Anytime any one of them people try to monetize, they get a cease and desist from the people who actually own that content.
Moving up.
Well, you're talking. Yeah. I'm not talking about a full ripoff of Star Wars here.
But that's what fan films are. You just said use fan films. Fan films are another aspect of the Star Wars universe. They're using TIE fighters.
If you want my opinion on infringement rights, I think you should probably err on the side of you own a story and not the entire universe. Because to say, that's a ridiculous argument to say that. It's a
created universe. Of course, he owns it all. I don't care. You're out of your mind that you
a non-specific universe. A long, long ago, he owns that term.
Yes. What are you arguing? You're out of your mind. Where are you fucking going with this? Please explain.
He's dug his heels in, and he's unwilling to move from his libertarian
There's no monopoly here.
position.
Somebody explain the monopoly. Explain the monopoly.
So,
political move.
Okay,
it's not a monopoly.
They don't own every phone carrier.
But they're trying to.
They don't own every movie company. They don't own any movie theater.
Yet.
They don't
yet. You can throw "yet" at the end of everything you're saying.
So you're
that's
saying
what they're working towards.
So what I'm saying is there's at least 10 huge hurdles you'd have to gain. You'd have to gain ownership of all mobile phones, all wireless technology, no new innovation. You'd have to own the licensing rights and a very broad form of licensing rights for all stories ever. There's a long way.
But we'll get there, and that's what leads to the dystopian society.
Communism will fail.
Communism.
Article real quick. Why was there an article today or yesterday that said, is it a problem that Apple makes up 5% of the S&P or 5% exchange? Why is that a problem? We talk about owning things, so that comes into owning things, and Apple owns a lot, and there's a big value. There's a big value into it.
Say that one more time.
So, article I read this morning: Apple or a company like Apple is worth 5% of either the S&P or the stock market.
Yeah, so it's too volatile of a variable, and basically people can't predict or make future investments.
Okay.
On something that volatile.
Okay, so doesn't AT&T and all them things become the same thing because now they own? I mean, they've taken all that.
Yes, it's called a risky but successful investment.
But it's volatile.
Right.
You know
That's
what
what capitalism is. It's a volatile. You give somebody money for an idea that you hope makes you a lot of money.
You know what is volatile and also a good idea that involves money? Lighting things on fire with drones.
Oh, that is. Hey, you got that video?
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, this is a real thing.
I'm moving us on here.
Have you seen this, Kyle? I didn't believe this was real. How do you do this? Where do you put the gas?
This is a drone burning power lines. What is it burning off the power line?
It looks like a sheet.
This right here is the most effective way. I'm going to stand behind this way. All they have to do is get a drone up there with spitting out fire. You don't have to put anyone's life in risk because them are live power lines.
All we have to do is get up there with a drone that shoots fire.
You know, I had a joke when
That seems like a pretty big hurdle.
Not really, because I'm watching a video of it and it doesn't look like that big of a hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, it's there.
Apparently
It looks
that's
crazy. It looks fake, but I assume it was a tarp from like a field that was getting
tarp parachute something.
Yeah, over top of the grain truck, and it came loose and got into the power lines and got stuck. And somebody was like, "Well, instead of pulling on it because we don't want to."
Well, I mean, this could be used in cases where
Why didn't Elon Musk run this?
like, I don't know how farmers burn their fields, those controlled burns. You could use it in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You could use it to kill poachers in Africa with flamethrowers. How epic would that be?
You can burn books with that because you're communist.
You could, all these kids that you're locking up in internment camps, you could just burn them that way.
You could do a lot of things with us. Now the question is, how long do you think the fire goes for? Like, it's got to be 30 seconds or something, right?
Well, we're watching it here, right on the video. For our podcast listeners, there's literally a drone just burning off a sheet that's stuck on a power line, and it looks like it only lasts for like.
Yeah, it's a hexacopter that's shooting a flamethrower out its front mouth, and I didn't even know it was possible. It doesn't look like it has a gas tank or anything.
Does this scare you about the weaponization of drones? I mean, this is obviously just one unique tool, but
that's just scary. Hold on a second. That's just scaring you now. They use drones. I mean,
I know, but like this is like a quadcopter that everybody uses on their daily basis with a flamethrower.
Well, what the fuck do you think they're putting bombs on?
What's creepy to me is how cheap you can make these things, and the people controlling them are. I mean, you could be a really unstable person and send out a fleet of drones.
I get what Chase is saying, but like that kind of technology for a long time was just military only, right?
There's a gun in every house, and we don't have people shooting up schools every day. Granted, it does happen, and that's why I'm referring to it, but it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but now you can strap a gun to your drone.
You could put fucking fertilizer in a truck and you could blow up buildings with it, which has been done. Not everyone goes out and does this every day. You can put plastic explosives on these drones. It's just a lot easier. Fly in somewhere and blow it up. I mean, this ain't like, we're just talking about strapping something to a drone and flying it to where it's going, having to do something.
I'm surprised they don't have more IEDs with drones, to be perfecly honest.
Yes.
I saw
Yes.
Law and Order where a bunch of drones dropped in guns into a prison. They swarmed a prison in New York. They swarmed a prison when they first came out, and this was based on a real story because this happened. That's where they get those things. They dropped in. Yes, a bunch of gangs flew in during rec time where everybody's out in the yard, and the drones just crashed and there were loaded pistols and guns in the yard.
Hey, it's no different from being in prison and having people throw things over the wall without a drone. Because they can get, a lot of these prisons are situated in neighborhoods or around people with,
You wouldn't even know they're there. They're like hidden.
Do you think we're eventually going to get much stricter FAA regulations on drones? Because it's pretty open right now. It's pretty open right now.
I think Donald Trump's Space Force is going to deal with it.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to be the one who names our force for the next 200 years, and he's gonna call it the Space Force. And I hope we have the ranks just like in Star Trek. I hope there's captain and ensign.
We
and
are
lieutenant.
literally living in a Simpsons episode. It's hilarious.
Hey, let's talk about something else that might be kind of cool. So Microsoft has ambitious plans to build the future of gaming, including a Netflix-style gaming service.
Right.
Now, the idea basically is a stream service, say $10 a month, where you get maybe 100 blockbuster games that stream to your Xbox, your cell phone. You don't even need to have an actual gaming platform.
Everything is a computer. You just need some.
You just need to stream the pixel.
Yep.
So whatever pixel you got, it's just a display, and everything's running in the cloud. So what do we feel about this?
I feel like it's an awesome idea, but I feel like it's a long ways off from being reality.
Netflix makes more money than Disney right now because it's a subscription service.
Yeah.
If you can get everybody in America to pay $10 a month, then you win.
Yeah, they're insane, man. But like, so streaming Netflix, for example,
All you need to do is take $10 from everybody in America. That's all you need to do,
And they've got half the
and
people
they're
in
going to be
America
able
right
to do it with this. They're going to be able to undercut as long as you have a computer. This is what it's going to be.
But think about the requirements for this. Like, so to stream a video, that's a pre-recorded, pre-rendered, thing that easy to stream over the internet.
Yeah.
A game has to take your input to a live rendering of that game from a game console, has to still be generating those graphics and rendering your input to the game, so that latency back and forth between wherever the server is to your game, like, because gamers, especially hardcore gamers, they don't want latency. So
they can't have it.
To establish a very low latency streaming service for gaming, I'm excited for it. I hope it happens, but I feel like we don't have the tech for that yet.
Right.
Well, could we use AI at some point? Doesn't that come into a play at some point? Like, if there's predictive patterns within that couldn't AI kind of pre-render everything?
Well,
going
I think what
forward
the
and
AI
reduce
would
that
do
threshold?
is it would be able to optimize what data needs to be prioritized. So a lot of this stuff is not everybody's making a move at the same time, or it's rendering all this video. So if you can get an AI to like prioritize like people's choices and
Predict
stuff.
actions almost like that actually kind of reminds me of something that NVIDIA just released. We don't have an image to show you guys watching, but NVIDIA just released a testing slow motion video. And their Jeep, like when you watch slow motion, you can tell it's still like juddery.
They faked it.
Yeah, they faked added frames to make it even slower, and it made it this like smoothest video possible. And that was a GPU assuming what would be in those missing frames of live video, not even animated video, of live video.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of the technology we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be is
predictive animation or something.
It's going to. It's going to use the same structure, but it's just going to fill in the gaps that we don't understand.
Like, it'll never be like the source for competitive gaming, I don't think. Like, you'll just never be able to reach that kind of latency, I think.
You say that now until there's a world Microsoft Cloud Championships.
Yeah. I mean, if we reach the point where everybody can have gigabit download speeds, then we could be there.
I think this is the start of people doing like mahjong around the world and chess around the world, and because you're gonna meet. Something like soccer, the equivalent of soccer, is gonna become the most famous esport because it's gonna be available on anything. Once Microsoft can stream games,
that's what Fortnite tried to be, but it's already
PUBG?
it's on the downfall.
It's already on the downfall.
It is.
Is
It is. Yep.
Did you log off for 2 days and lose 40,000 subscribers like me?
Oh yeah, you lost all your subs.
Hi.
Are you
Hi,
Ninja?
I'm Ninja.
What happened to your
and-
blue hair? How'd you get so big?
I was in hiding. I couldn't keep it up. I'm sorry. 40,000 subscribers in 2 days. That is hella content.
That's
if
bad, man.
if any gamers out there feel really avid and would like to work for pennies on the day, please subscribe. I got a job for you. Please feel free to apply.
So let's throw out a bad, and then a good, and then a bad.
All right.
Okay.
A good sandwich?
But maybe a good.
No, bad sandwich.
We'll end on
the
a maybe
sandwich is
good,
what's
maybe
in the
bad.
middle.
We can talk about that.
It's not a bread sandwich. You put the sandwich is based on what's in the middle. Like a hamburger is a burger sandwich.
Unless you
Is
got
a
like
hot dog
really
a
good
sandwich?
bread, though.
But
Like
then it's not described. It's never just a sandwich is never described by its bread. It's always described what's in the middle.
Is a hot dog a
a
sandwich?
French bread sandwich. Or
No, a French dip?
a French toast sandwich.
Guys, it's a hot dog a sandwich? This is the real question.
Oh.
Is a hot dog a
Well,
sandwich?
no, because you have it split. You don't have it closed, so it's an open.
What if you
it's
have
like
one of those
open
cheap hot
things.
dog buns that splits when you open it?
It's 3/4.
It's a 3/4 sandwich. it's
All right, well, the real debate is over. We
the
can
hot
go
dog
home.
is
now.
a trans sandwich, okay?
The hot dog is 70% liable.
All right, let's go on to the next story. Asher, what do you got for us?
We got Facebook ruining the only good thing about Facebook.
Oh, we are back to bashing Facebook.
which is Messenger. Well, we're not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we can bash it
so
all
we
we
can
want.
just go ahead and
Fuck
bash
Facebook.
the hell out of this thing.
So talk to me.
Autoplay video ads inside of Messenger.
Come on. Did they learn? Did they learn
How?
nothing from MySpace? Like, all people want is a message board. That's why places like Reddit work until they don't, and Imager works until it didn't. or
Reddit is putting in autoplay video ads now.
Tumblr worked until it didn't. Like, this is so annoying. Don't they get it? I know you want to be profitable. Come on.
Where do you mean to put the room? Where do you
Yeah,
do? Like, is it
really.
an overlay? Is it in the feed?
Is it in now, or is it something that's on the way?
So they first started selling ads inside of Messenger like 18 months ago.
Because I'm using Messenger Lite.
Yes.
Remember, Messenger Lite.
Messenger
and I don't see
Lite.
any of that.
I'm going to chime in. I'm going to chime
No
in with you.
Messenger
And,
Lite for iPhone, by the way.
I'm going to chime in with you, Ash, here because I've been taking advantage of this.
Throw in the ads in Messenger.
Yes, I have been.
Our producer here is a guru marketer.
Now that you have Android, have you downloaded Facebook Lite?
I have not yet.
It'd be interesting to hear your
I'm
feedback.
just about 24 hours into my Android experience, so I still need some time to do.
My favorite part of this article, which is on Recode, by the way, it's a Recode article talking about ads.
Why would you? If you didn't code it right the first time, you wouldn't need to recode.
It says the benefit of video ads is that they're usually more expensive, which means they're more valuable to Facebook. So the only benefit is to Facebook. They're the only ones who benefit from this. Everybody else,
They couldn't objectively come up with somebody else that would maybe benefit.
no.
Their definitive scientific analysis was that only Facebook benefits. Nah.
So where do we got ads now? We got ads on the main feed. We got ads on the sidebar.
Videos.
We got ads in Messenger.
So when I play,
Vi-
if I send
go
you a
videos and
video, or if
videos.
I post a video of myself
There's probably an ad before it.
before my friends see it, like before my friends see a video of me,
see an
not a company, but of me, they'll see an ad first.
Yep. And prediction.
Is that?
Not necessarily.
They haven't started pre-rolling videos yet.
What would
isn't
you see them on? I see them on the beta level every now and then,
Right. So
but
what
I
I'm
do
seeing
see
right
them,
now is I see them in between things.
and that's the beta. I don't know how they're rolling it out in the future. I just know where they're putting it
What
on
I'm
and how
wondering
they're
is it
trying
gonna
to
be
push.
like YouTube, where it's like you literally have to wait 10 seconds to watch a video before.
No matter
Not
what that
not
video
from
is.
Messenger, you won't, but you do have when you run consecutive videos with Facebook, you do have 15-second breaks every now and then, and I take advantage of them too.
Right.
As a capitalist, can I pay for Facebook?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, I have a prediction. I bet they'll even start putting video ads before you FaceTime someone. I bet they'll even implement that before
You think Apple will do that?
Pre-roll on
I
what?
think-
on video calling on
Messenger, so video message.
Video
sorry,
messenger.
FaceTime video call. Yeah.
So like when people use those like call ID spoofers, you had to like listen to like a 15-second ad
Yeah.
before it would make the call.
You've joined Wacky Call. Spoof your friends. Blah.
They would never, and I will guarantee this, they will never make you watch a video before you make a message. They would have people dropping their platforms so damn quick.
You'll see it on the sidebar like Skype does. probably. That's why Skype is annoying.
That's the thing. Like, what does
I
it
use
take to
Skype
get
for
people to
business.
drop these platforms? Because we've had outrage on Facebook, we've had outrage at Reddit, we've had outrage at Twitter about how they've been implementing ads, but everybody keeps using these platforms.
Well,
When
there's
are they
been
going to stop?
mass
When are they going to
exodus.
stop
There's
using
no-
meth and heroin?
There's no level of mass exodus that can't happen. So I mean, MySpace, mass exodus, right? Dig, mass exodus.
DIGG.
DIGG. The second G stood for not good. But
It's a double negative.
yeah,
Too good
exactly,
makes a bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
positives to negatives.
Right. It's electrolysis. I get it.
Nowhere.
AOL, mass exodus.
Okay. People still use it.
See, here's
AOL's
Do you
Right.
remember AOL Time Warner was a thing?
Yeah, AOL. Yeah, people got worried about that. See, I don't know. When companies merge, they just merge. Whatever.
Here's the problem with all them things. You had options. You don't have another option for Facebook or for. I mean, really, when it comes to the way you connect things, it is
can't
because
make
it
that
is because
argument.
no, it's
Google
I make the
Plus.
argument. I will make the argument. I make the
Game
argument.
over, son. He
Yeah,
threw the
I'm-
cheap
I'm-
plus out there.
I would love your legal argument against that. That's available to everybody.
Google
Just because
Plus.
you don't use it.
I
doesn't mean
tried
it's not
so
available.
hard. I tried so hard to be a Google Pluser.
It's
I
terrible.
put
I'm not saying
everything I
it's
had
good.
into it.
It's terrible. It is
I
terrible.
did my circles,
But it's there.
I had
Everything.
the beta invite codes, man.
Everything.
I was there.
Everything. It blows. That's why Facebook though has when Facebook transcends, becomes a noun, becomes a verb, becomes all them things. When you have grandmas to fucking kids, the youngest get on it and use it. That's when it becomes a part of society.
So
it's
it
hard
becomes
to
a public utility.
It really it becomes almost a
So
public utility.
nationwide
It really is.
identification. The federal government is going to buy Facebook
They should
in
just take it over.
2023, right
Yeah.
before Donald Trump leaves
Absolutely.
office. They're going to pay fair market
You mean
value.
2019?
2023. 2024 technically in January 26th. That's when the approval is going to go through. Right.
All right, good story. Android messages for the web is now live.
Good luck getting it to work.
Have you tried this, Kyle?
I do have a Pixel phone.
Yes.
And I do have a computer.
Yes.
And I do this stuff for a living.
Is
No,
it as good as iMessage?
it didn't work.
It didn't work.
From what I can see, is it works the same way as the WhatsApp extension, where it puts up a QR code and then you open it, and then you can scan from that QR code. But what I'm getting right now is, and I'm running a Pixel 2 XL, so I should have it. You're supposed to be able to click the options button and then sync it with website, and it's not there. So for them to officially roll out something that's as huge as not needing a computer anymore, because if I can use my official messenger on a computer, I don't ever need anything but a Pixel book
But
ever again.
is this is this the same style of like it only works with Google Messages?
No,
like
it's
iMessage does,
it's
or is it all your
SMS. It's SMS messaging through there. It's the way Facebook Messenger works too. So if
So
I have
all
a,
your texts, regardless of where they come from, all
I
your
bel-
SMS texts from your phone, you
I
can
believe
get on
so,
your browser.
because they pass through. That's why I'm allowing it. They pass through Google's SMS. Now I can't get it to work. Well, I'll let you know next week. But that's the idea, because if I can get a Pixel book and I get a Bluetooth headset, I'm never going to need a phone. Like when I'm at work, all my messages, everything will come up on my Pixel book, and I'll get phone calls on my Google Voice account.
Is this the first step towards phones disappearing?
I don't know. I think terminals are the way. I mean, I think terminals are the way you go. I don't think you'll have a phone. I think you'll just have access to different terminals. Whatever's the most.
You'll have your chip in your brain, and you'll.
But this is nice. I mean, once I can do this, Google Voice will be on every. I'll get rid of this. This thing's kind of cool. But
So what we may have to look at my phone again, because I believe last night I bypassed that setup because I set up my Google account.
it asked for that option.
I believe it did.
Yeah, I might have missed an update or something, but I can't get it to work. I'll let you know. The Facebook, if people don't know, you can go to messenger.com, and that's the Facebook Messenger, and you can access all your Facebook messages from there. There's no ads or anything on there either.
But that doesn't send your SMS through.
No, but it's
But it'd be cool if it did.
what I'm saying is I think Google figured out how to do it.
Yeah. Well, there was an app. Now I can't remember what it was. I stopped using it because it really slowed down my phone. But it would use my phone's power and push all my SMS to my computer if I had the app installed on my phone and my computer.
Right. I think that's a better way to do it.
That was a cool way to do it, but it had performance issues. Like,
right.
It'd be cool if they.
But you would need
that.
your phone to be on in order for that to work.
They had to be paired together.
I mean, the nice thing about
that
iMessage
cool
is that it just works without that.
But only with people with iPhones.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. Does it actually say the SMS?
Who, the Facebook or the Google
Android?
one?
I'm excited either way by the premise of this because as a lazy gamer and I'm playing games on my computer, I don't want to have to find my phone if someone's texting me. I just pull it up on my computer. What was that reason?
It was a sexual reason.
Okay. Hashtag Pornhub.
Sexual.
You know how bad Google is at messaging stuff, though? I mean, everything that they have done has been bad.
Yeah, they're not very
Really
good
bad.
at it.
Well, they're good at software. They're good at the Pixel's good. I mean, but yeah, social stuff.
They're good at
Just
AI.
social stuff.
They're good at
Yeah.
like the Google Home Mini works good. The AI on my Pixel works good.
Yeah.
The Pixel itself
Look at all those
doesn't
ads on
work
that
super
website
great.
you're on.
So Google's coming out with a
Stealing if you
new...
don't look at ads.
Ad block, bro.
Google has a new...
Stealing if you don't look at ads. Oh, this is my next phone. This is my next phone. What do you think?
What was that?
The ROG Asus Republic of Gaming's phone.
Oh, we talked about that on 101 when you weren't here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, that phone
90
is
hertz.
sweet.
So it's not the 120 hertz refresh rate that Razer has. Going to be pretty sick.
Donated,
but
though.
It has the Dolby surround sound, the 7.1 if you want to hook it to any speaker. It charges at 20 watts if you plug in their charger, so it'll charge in like 15 minutes if you use their specific charger. It's supposed to be a perfectly performing Android phone. So
All of this stuff, and I'm still considering going back to Apple. It's weird. Really weird.
Universe is
A weird time we're in right now.
the ebb and flow of technology. So now I'm ready for the future phone. Look at that thing.
Yeah,
I'm ready
it's
for the
badass.
future phone. This phone is a phone
It's
that
taking
you
a
would,
shot at Nintendo Switch, really, with all the accessories.
I mean, it looks like a concept phone. It doesn't look like a real phone.
Yeah. Right.
It looks ridiculous. It has the red gaming LEDs. It has the vents that don't need to be prominent. It has the bronze vents. It doesn't have the notch. It has the bezels, but it's going to have the ROG optimizer on there, which if you ever had any, like, I had a Swift 1080 ROG graphics card. The software works really excellent, and it's going to work with all that computer software, so you can put a game on it, anything. The screen's going to be super fresh. Yeah. I think
we have Twitch chat. Who's talking in Twitch chat?
Yeah, we do. Someone saying that me and Kyle look like brothers. And then Chase being the funny guy saying we sleep in the same bed. We do not sleep in the same bed. We sleep in side-by-side twins. Technically 2 beds. We always hang our crosses up on the wall
push
inside
them
of
together
the illegal
sometimes.
rental in South Boston that we live in.
it's kind of like a hostel.
Yeah, it's like a hostel, but we just live there illegally. You know, we go down to the local patty pub every once in a while.
You ever seen how people remodel those old buses?
Yeah,
It's kind of
Yeah.
like that, but in a basement,
right.
but like surrounded with cement and stuff. So what do you? So okay, this looks like a Nintendo DS, 3DS. You can put it comes with an accessory, or it doesn't come with it, but you can get the accessory. You put the bottom display is your phone, or the top display is your phone. The bottom display is this thing.
It's its own thing, which is cool.
It's gonna work with the ROG lighting. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, I just like the fact that it's a phone that has an RGB light.
What
on
if
the
I
back.
spend $3,000 on a phone?
You're ridiculous.
Like, get the whole setup.
You're ridiculous.
Look at the display or the audio deck next to it. The right hand display audio deck. What if I get this? What if I get all this? Will that be crazy?
In the mall.
There's a
Oh.
VR company in the mall.
There's been people on Facebook talking about that VR technology and people renting out stuff. I don't think
Is
it's
it like
not-
a VR arcade type deal, or that's exciting? Yeah, let's go to that.
So this has all the accessories. I would guess the phone's going to be almost $1,000, and then getting all these accessories is going to be another $1,000. I would guess between the charger, the side rails.
I'd say the only thing that'd
screen.
be the dual screen thing will be the most expensive because it is another almost as good a quality screen. Otherwise, I don't think it'll be $3,000 worth of accessories.
I'm going to use that thing as my main computer terminal. If it's 2 displays with a good handle, and I'm like this. That's going to be awesome for work.
Here's your specs you guys are looking at here. Here's the hard specs on it here.
So it's got its own GPU. It's got an AMOLED screen. It's got 512 gigabytes of storage. It has the fastest charging you can get. It supports the newest wireless charging. It supports the newest USB Type-C, which allows for external monitors to be plugged in up to 20 watts. So you can buy a USB Type-C monitor on Amazon. They're expensive as hell right now. You can plug that in, and if your phone has enough power, it'll be able to power that monitor. So it'll be one cable to a big monitor. You'll be able to plug this phone into the dock, and it'll power everything. Yeah, people are forgetting that computers are strong enough now to just be your phone. The days of being able to plug your full everything into a module and having a full display setup is here.
Put it this way, like today's like hot smartphones, like the Galaxy S9 and the iPhone 10 and all that, they're equivalent to they're more powerful than the $300-$400 laptop you would buy at Best Buy 4 years ago. That's how quickly technology has advanced.
Oh yeah,
and that's how powerful these things are.
Oh yeah,
So the idea that you can plug a mouse and a keyboard into your phone and then it just works as a computer, that's cool.
It's so close to being there. I want to get that Dex Media Hub for the Samsungs.
Yeah.
Just to try it. I want to plug it into one of these phones here just to try it, to see what that Media Hub is, where it's the first kind of idea. I mean, it's not the first, but it's one of the first good ones where you plug something in and your phone becomes the whole setup. I mean, the one thing about Android is if you're efficient enough and you're geeky enough, you can tweak it to where it has enough shortcuts to where everything is so precise. It doesn't take you long to get to anything. It's so customizable, but that's where people fall down the rabbit hole.
It's also filled with so many flaws.
Right. You're going to get force closed.
Some Android. It was a Samsung.
I'm reading about this.
Came into work the other day. Came into work the other day. It was the most infected phone I've ever seen. More infected than a lot of computers I see, and I'm like, wow, that never happens to an iPhone ever. And this, so that's the downside, Dan.
Right. I mean, if you had to give a bunch of employees phones that you knew they couldn't fuck up or they had a smaller chance of, iPhones. You put a case on an iPhone, and you're going to be pretty hard up to get that thing fucked up. But if you are somebody who does a lot of things and has a lot of plate spinning, if you will, then a good Android phone is totally customizable. You can make your default calendar app your Microsoft Outlook calendar. You can change all the default things.
You can make your default webpage #Pornhub.
Pornhub.
Yeah. All right. What do you say we wrap this show up? What do we have for a happy story to end us?
For
Happy Sandwich
story, Apple's App Store is going to the Supreme Court for an antitrust debate.
Wait.
This may be split, so this is like...
Is this a happy...
This is like the last piece of bread, but it's a little moldy, but just on the corner. Okay. It just depends on like how much of it you eat, but maybe you cut it into like quarters and like triangles, and you gave each of them to like different people, so like one person got the corner with the mold, but then the 3 people didn't. So they had a really great sandwich, but the one person ate moldy bread.
Understood.
Cool. So, yeah, this goes back to... So this is basically going back to a price gouging thing. A bunch of iPhone users sued Apple.
I'm Joe Consumer.
You're Joe Consumer. You sued Apple because guess what? Apps on the App Store, on Apple's App Store, are like 30% higher than every other place that sells the same app on different devices. For instance, Google Play, the Amazon Store.
Huh, okay.
So
isn't that just a part of the Apple tax that
that's
Apple
the
puts
Apple
on
tax,
everything?
Exactly. So because Apple, no matter who the developer is, they're going to take 30% of the profit no matter what. And because they control the ecosystem, and it's a closed ecosystem, they sued. The judge threw it out. There's an old 70s law that said that but pricing is not considered price gouging if the
Chase was from the
distributor
70s.
if the distributor absorbed the cost. So if the
what did you
distributor
say?
had network
I'll shank
cost,
you, motherfucker.
He's also from prison.
I'm sorry, Ash. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this dude needed a good shanking, and I
Yeah.
didn't. It's so.
First off, you shiv people with a shank.
Let's go back.
Shank somebody.
Back on topic.
Secondly,
Oh Jesus.
I think this might actually be an antitrust issue because
I don't trust you.
if you can't accept money, I'm just thinking from the consumer, I can't pay somebody to put something on this device that I own. That seems to me like an antitrust issue. Basically, what they're saying is nobody can put any software on a device that I, as Joe consumer, owns.
Unless you pay 30% of the profits,
Right. Which is like,
to the creator of the device.
that seems like a monopoly to me. Why is that funny?
well, go use the Play Store. It's not a monopoly. You have options.
No, you don't on an Apple. There is no other way to install
You
an app on an Apple.
But that's one company. But see, you got to look outside companies. You got to look. You got Samsung as an option.
No, because
yes.
if you own... No, this is where I stray, because when Apple's position is that you license an Apple product from them.
Apple is a private company. So.
No, the way I view it is when I bought a
you
phone
view
from
it.
you, I
Tell
can mod
me-
it any way I want to. I believe in the right to repair. I can mod it any way I want
Lips
to.
to asshole. Read the contract.
Here's the flip. Here's where the law is different. This is where Kyle might be right. It might be antitrust because this law that Apple is following, it has to do with distributors. And as an owner of a distributorship, one of the issues is that if I incur a cost from
Here's
a
an
supplier
issue, have a
or a
tissue.
manufacturer, a supplier or manufacturer has an incurred cost to me. Say they just jacked up this price because their product is amazing, so they jack it up to me. Okay, now I have to jack it up to them because of that incurred cost. I can't be held liable for the consumer getting price gouged because the cost is incurred by me, the distributor. Where Apple is, though, they're my position. They're the opposite. So
Buy
all
my
these
phone
people
or fuck
want
off.
all these people want their apps on the App Store, and Apple's going, all right, but we got to take 30% no matter what. Forcing the developer to set his price higher, forcing it to be artificially higher only on their platform, that's where it might be antitrust because they're the distributor creating the situation where the price gouge is happening.
What did we just talk about capitalism earlier? Fuck it. Go use Samsung. Go use something
But the
else.
problem with antitrust, though, is that they can't price gouge people. You cannot price gouge your customers. That is antitrust. That is
I
against
can
the
argue
law.
that you're
That's a
paying.
different
I
kind of
can argue.
monopoly.
I can
That's why
argue
they
that
use
you're
a
paying a
different word.
premium price for the update for the security that's never hacks for
Yeah,
anything.
but you're not setting the price is the issue. They're forcing the price to be higher by them not setting it. So that's why it's antitrust.
I don't
It's
understand
like every
that.
gas
not their
station in
product.
town. It's like every gas station in town forming together to raise the price 30% because they know everybody needs gas.
This is what Apple
That's
does.
an antitrust
This is what
issue
Apple does.
that's been.
But these are
decided.
all different companies coming together to do that. This is one company saying,
one company.
if you want to use our product, you're going to abide by our rules. I thought that's what we talked about when it comes to capitalism.
And we see Apple do this in their hardware too. I mean, if I wanted to build a desktop computer with the same Intel processor, the same brand of RAM that they use in their computers, if I built it on the Windows platform, the computer would be almost $1,000 cheaper than just buying an Apple, and that's what they call the Apple tax. Is you're paying for that Apple on the back of your fucking
Do
computer.
you believe that once you buy, who believes here that if you buy an iPhone that you can do whatever you want with it?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Do you believe that?
I believe that I buy.
I believe that. I believe that. I believe that.
Then Apple
Knowing
has an antitrust issue. Because
knowing that I'm also, but see, here's my argument.
if
Knowing
it's
that I'm
your
also.
device, if it's my Chevy vehicle, I can put in whatever I want in there, whatever type of gas or whatever type of engine. I can mod it however I want, and I can still call it a Chevy.
And they're not saying you can't do that. They let shops run and modify.
They're not letting them install modified tech on their device.
They
You
are,
can do it,
if
but
they really were
You're
not.
calling software different than hardware, and I'm saying software is the same. It's installing something that the circuitry can understand. You should be able to mod the software of your device however you want.
If you if you get an Audible subscription, you download the Audible app for free off the App Store, okay? And you want to say buy an Audible book. You cannot buy it on an Apple device. You cannot.
Can I modify the Audible app to suit my needs?
No.
So isn't that antitrust?
Yeah. You can save it to your wish list. You can go onto a computer, a web browser, and do it. But because it's in the app that was downloaded from the App Store, that's on an iPhone, Apple says that they're entitled to 30% of that profit. That's a price gouge because they're just tacking on 30% for no other reason and blocking any other mechanism in order to buy that audiobook.
Because they can.
Well, yeah, they can. Well, and they can because they're hiding behind the distributorship cost law from the 70s.
If this gets taken down, it's going to be huge problems for them because people are going to be able to eventually pick away and put third party. Why it's the same thing the Amazon App Store sued Google for, and Google sued the Amazon for allowing a third party Play Store, and they decided Amazon is allowed to have an Amazon Play Store. And if you don't have to get any of your apps on Android through Google Play, you can go to the Amazon App Store. You can't do that on
If
an
all
Apple.
of this falls apart, how is Apple going to send their spaceship to Mars?
Oh, that's
like
just
they
it.
want to do?
See,
It's not a
that's the thing.
ship. It's the last thing that's going to survive once the Earth gets blown up. It's
Apple
a
has
pod.
earned $130 billion from this
They?
over the course of the App Store. $130 billion. So
And
no
that's-
amount of fines that they're going to get.
That's a drop in the
Isn't
bucket.
overcome.
About
Yeah, they
there.
don't want the law overturned. They could give a
130
shit less about the fine. They just don't want the law overturned.
That's all they made. That's all they made from the App Store is $130 billion.
That's all? You're shaking your head at $130
Well, they're
billion?
almost-
What is it? What is Apple
They're
made, and what
almost
is
a
Apple?
$1 trillion company.
I know, but $130 billion is not something to just shake your tail.
What have they?
That's a
What have they
lot.
made the last 20 years since 2000? What have they made since they've been since 19?
Yeah, they are like $1 trillion company. Yes.
They're valued at $1 trillion company today. But what are the actual sales and stuff that they've made? I mean, the fucking number will blow you away. It's in the trillions. So when I say
Apple
100,
made more in 3 months than Amazon's made its whole life.
yeah. I mean, so when you
Profit.
start talking about that, $130 billion to me and you, it's fucking ridiculous money. But in reality, to Apple,
It has to
that's
be
a fucking drop in the pocket.
Not even 20.
You got to think bigger. You got to understand
1%.
Well, it's been an interesting episode of Sips and Software. Controversial.
Thank you.
Argumentative.
the way we like it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Live from the Supreme Court steps, we'll be taking up the next Supreme Court issue.
Yeah.
Asher's going to be arguing live in front of the Supreme Court, whether they're there or not.
Yeah.
I still want to. I still want to talk about this because I'm interested in this thing because
We'll do it after
I really
hours.
don't believe.
Okay, next time on Sips and Software After Hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Asher.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Chase.
And they're gay.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.